Admit it. How many of you, when looking for information, go straight to YouTube? When it comes to the true crime genre, most of us could reel off a long list of channels that are our go-to for information, and from following these channels, we can believe ourselves to have become experts in our own rights. But how can we be certain that the information we are finding is truly the actual facts in a case? How can we become properly informed? Let's start by looking at YouTube. On the streets of YouTube, misinformation seems to spread like wildfire. Firstly, there's the rumours, which begin as comments on a person's video. Someone says something that may sound utterly credible and fit with various people's preferred narrative. This is said with such authority that people accept it as fact without actually searching for corroborating accounts. This fact gets repeated and shared enough times that suddenly people believe that since they've heard it several times, it must be true. Content creators who are more concerned with being the first to bring new information to their viewers, as opposed to bringing verified information, talk about it on their channels, and all of a sudden other channels, believing since they've heard it from a few creators, decide it must be true and present it as facts on their own channel. Suddenly an unsubstantiated rumour has become an accepted fact which has been given credibility simply through repetition, and is perpetuated by some creators who have chosen their preferred narrative in a case, and who will blindly push any information which they come across if it strengthens and justifies their own personal theory. Then there are the Google experts, the people who do searches for names or keywords, then, rather than discard information that doesn't align with known facts, ignore the discrepancies and put forward their newfound information as breaking news, so that suddenly that single mum of two who is working 2 jobs to pay the rent is touted as a property mogul with countless high-end properties scattered around numerous states, housing her many hidden children. So what if middle names or ages don't match? If you've got a narrative to push, just ignore that. You're sure to have the collection of followers who will blindly accept what you say and then share the misinformation in chats and comment sections on other channels, once again offering the chance of validity through simple repetition. Then there's the hearsay comments which become accepted as solid facts. Those second-hand accounts, which for some reason are happily accepted by content creators without questioning the validity and accuracy of the information or the motives of the person sharing the information. Let's look at an example from the Kiely Rodney case. We were told by a Truckee local, whose own children apparently and somewhat serendipitously chose not to attend the party, that after Sammy left the party, another individual had gone to sleep in his car, with it parked really close to Kiely's, and when he woke later, Kiely's car was gone. This is now accepted by most as being a solid fact in the case, but we have never heard this directly from the individual in question, nor has anyone else come forward with a corroborating story. So is this story true and accurate? We know that this Truckee local inserted themselves into the case to protect Sammy. Yet how many people have stepped back and questioned whether or not the car narrative is simply an attempt to place Kiely on site after Sammy supposedly left with her mystery driver, thus proving her innocence? How can we be certain that we are finding facts and the truth? First, be wary of hearsay comments. If it's not a first-hand account, then be careful about accepting it as fact and sharing the information without first looking for solid proof. A statement from the original source, a newspaper article quoting that source, or a news report where that person can be seen actually giving the information that you're seeking to verify. If you can't verify this type of information, you need to question the motivation of the person who has brought it forward in the first place. Are they trying to sell you a certain narrative? You don't necessarily need to disregard hearsay information, but at the same time, don't make the mistake that so many others seem to do in disregarding other information because it contradicts or doesn't fit a timeline which includes your original hearsay information. If you can't verify something, but also can't debunk it, keep it in mind as being something that down the track you may manage to verify, even put it forward to people whilst acknowledging that it is not verified. But don't push it as being a solid fact when it's not. Then there's the blind Google search. Not everything that you find on Google is going to be accurate, and if you don't know enough cold hard facts, then there's a good chance that you are going to end up terribly misinformed and potentially cause damage to innocent individuals. Firstly, if you're looking up a person, be sure that you are actually searching for the right name. We've certainly seen plenty of examples recently where someone has pulled a name out of thin air and then shared misinformation and even malicious rumours based on information about an entirely different individual. If you're researching a person and you know their name, location and approximate age, then it should be a no-brainer that if location, age or even middle name don't match up, they're not your person. It is just irresponsible to put forward information as fact when you can't corroborate what you've found against solid information that is readily available. Finally, it is so important to stop and analyse and question all sources. If you are trying to make a positive difference in a case, then it is incumbent on you to make sure you are not spreading misinformation to further muddy already murky waters. Misinformation can be so damaging when fighting for justice in a case. Let's all try to do our best to get the facts right.